What is the secret to Adam Sandler's success? We're going to talk about that right after this. Hey everyone, I'm Yoel and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So grateful to have you. And in today's video, I'm going to discuss what I feel are the secrets to Adam Sandler's success. As you know, Adam Sandler is a world famous comedian, hugely successful artist, actor, producer, comedian. His films have grossed over $3 billion worldwide, which is absolutely incredible considering his humble beginnings. And I always think about it whenever I see Adam Sandler in the news or, one of his movies or anything like that. I'm always kind of pondering, like, what is it about him that's made him such a success? Obviously, I don't know him personally. This is by all outside appearances. He's been successful financially as an actor, as a family man. He's married with 2 children. By all outside appearances, seems to be happily married with a beautiful family, and really just a wonderful success story. And what is it about Adam Sandler that really contributes to his success? So I thought about it. I've jotted down a bunch of different factors that I feel are what really contributes to his success. And I thought I would share that with you in this video. So here we go. So number one, no particular order as usual. It's just as the thoughts come into my mind. The one thing that I think that everybody would notice about Adam Sandler is just how humble he is. He has stayed humble throughout. The same Adam Sandler who got his break starting out, whether it was in comedy clubs or getting onto Saturday Night Live, is the same Adam Sandler who's a $3 billion movie earnings grosser to this day. And you'll find Adam Sandler by videos that I've seen throughout the web. You'll find Adam Sandler on a playground playing basketball with the kids over there, like he's just another guy. In fact, he kind of stays away from the fanfare. He doesn't seem to like it very much. He doesn't really enjoy it. He's the same humble guy. There's another video that went viral relatively recently where he walked into a certain restaurant or a cafe or maybe an ice cream shop, I don't remember, and the server didn't recognize him. He was with his daughter, I think, or one of his daughters or 2 of his daughters. And they said to him that there's nowhere to sit. You've got to wait. And he could have easily told the server who he is. I'm Adam Sandler. You're going to make me wait. He didn't do that. I think what happened was maybe he waited for a bit and then he decided to leave. But the video went viral. And I think one of the reasons it went viral, as opposed to a lot of the negative types of videos that will go viral, where you see people getting into fights or tussles or things of that nature. This was one where it was simply a celebrity going to a place to have a cone of ice cream or whatever the case was, a cup of coffee, and then just simply going away when they say they don't have room for him. He didn't try to use his celebrity status or anything like that to gain any sort of favors. And, that may sound like a simple thing. And yes, I'm not suggesting he's the only celebrity necessarily that would have done that. I'm sure there's many such cases that don't involve videos going viral, but it certainly happened in Adam Sandler's case. And it wasn't a surprise to anybody. That's just the way Adam Sandler is. He's just comes across anyway as a super humble, laid back type of guy. And I really think that contributes to his success. He's a type of person that people can relate to, regardless of what his lifestyle may be today after all his success. He doesn't try and push that onto anybody. He doesn't try to rub that into anybody's face. He just wants to be who he is. And I really believe that's one of the keys to his longevity and his success, being humble. Number 2 is that Adam Sandler has disregarded the naysayers. There's a famous motivational clip out there from Arnold Schwarzenegger where he talks about the idea of disregarding the naysayers completely. Okay, I'm kind of paraphrasing. He may have used some more colorful language, but the point is that Arnold Schwarzenegger too, when he started out, people were telling him with his accent, with his muscles and this and that, he'll never succeed in Hollywood. Who does he think he is? And not only will he not succeed, he thinks he could be a leading man. And Arnold Schwarzenegger speaks a lot about the fact that he disregarded those naysayers. And look where Arnold Schwarzenegger got to. He was the most bankable star, I think it was in the 90s, maybe even the 80s. And again, just an amazing presence in the Hollywood industry. And Adam Sandler very much is the same. If you think about his earliest movies, they were not very well received by his critics. Now, arguably, you can say perhaps rightfully so in a certain sense. I wouldn't agree. I personally wouldn't say rightfully so, because his movies struck a chord with the audiences, which is the most important thing. But as far as, let's say, quality of film or acting or anything of that nature, certainly, you can understand why many of the critics maybe wouldn't have had the nicest things to say. But the point I'm trying to make here is that Adam Sandler completely disregarded them. He could have listened to all that negativity and kind of mailed it in and be like, I'm not good anyways. Like, who do I think I am? Why am I going to keep trying to do new movies? if nobody's, if none of the people who count, so to speak, seem to like it. Okay, and again, I'm not suggesting he's the only celebrity out there that is able to kind of tune out those critics and plow forward with his career aspirations. I'm sure there's many like that, but that's probably why other celebrities are also very popular, because they're able to tune that out. So I think the fact that Adam Sandler had such bad reviews and negativity surrounding his performances, his movies in the early goings, really goes to show you his character. He was able to keep on doing what he's doing without giving too much attention to those who are critical of him. And he's had the last laugh, so to speak. So disregarding the naysayers is another factor that I believe has really been a huge contribution to Adam Sandler's success. Now, number three, I jotted down here, is that Adam Sandler is very quick to give credit to others and not put credit on himself. This kind of ties into the first point I made about being humble and modest. But anytime you've watched, if you've seen a lot of interviews about Adam Sandler, anybody who's talked about him will always say how not only how humble he is, but how also he tries to stay away from getting any of the recognition. Really what he tries to do is put it on the other people. So if somebody says to him, wow, you had an amazing performance in this movie or that movie, Uncut Gems or Hustle are the latest movies that come to mind. When people try and really give him those accolades, he'll always say like, oh yeah, well, I had a great cast. My supporting cast was just amazing. In Hustle, there was a basketball player who was acting for the first time. And all he would do is, in the interviews that I saw, he would just talk about the amazing acting of that basketball player. Okay, very gracious. Same with the Uncut Gems. He wanted to give all the credit to Kevin Garnett, who really was amazing in that film. But Adam Sandler was equally, if not arguably more amazing in that film. I absolutely loved that film. I thought Adam Sandler was incredible. Could have garnered himself an Oscar nomination, in my opinion. But he doesn't try and take that limelight for himself. Maybe that's one of the reasons he hasn't been nominated for an Oscar yet. He doesn't strike me as the type to really push himself out there to try and get all these awards. That doesn't seem to be what he's about. He's really about being of service, really trying to push the limelight onto those surrounding him, as opposed to trying to steal all that for himself. And that gains him a lot of positive energy with everybody who he works with. And that no doubt has contributed to his success. And similar to that idea, somewhat different, but similar, is that he strikes me as somebody who's very loyal. So, for example, he tends to continue working with people who he enjoys working with, regardless of whether or not they may be in the peak of their career, or maybe they're not getting roles in other films. Adam Sandler doesn't really seem to care about that. He'll put people in his movies if he likes them and he likes working with them and he enjoys their performances. And that's all that really seems to matter to him. And it hasn't affected him negatively in one bit. In fact, the people that he does trust and stay loyal to be in his movies, they continue to perform well for him. John Turturro comes to mind. And it's not just in the acting realm. I know that Alan Covert is a fellow producer. He does put him in his movies as well. And I think Alan Covert is hilarious in his movies, but he also continues to work with him as a producer, and he stays loyal to those people. I was watching the Mark Twain Award ceremony. Adam Sandler won the Mark Twain Award, and I believe more than one of the people that he had on, and he had a whole A-list of celebrities who were just heaping accolades on Sandler, which is kind of ironic because, like I said before, he really tries to stay away from getting accolades. Although there's a famous proverb, I think it's the Ethics of the Fathers, it's an ancient Jewish text that says that those who run for fame, it always seems to elude them, whereas those who run away from it, it seems to chase after them. And I really find that that's the case with Adam Sandler. And more than one of the celebrities who were heaping accolades on him at the Mark Twain Award kept talking about his loyalty, how he's willing to be there for somebody. He's the type of guy who would probably literally give you the shirt off his back, particularly because he's known for not being the biggest fashion guru and doesn't really seem to care all that much about fashion. And I say that in a complimentary way in his case. So I think Adam Sandler's loyalty to those around him has no doubt helped him, even on a practical level. If you're producing, and he's a big time producer, if you're producing films, you've got to have those good relationships and good connections. And if people have faith in you that you're the loyal type who's not trying to steal all the fame for yourself, then they're more willing and more likely to work with you and also give it their best to do their best kind of work for you. So I have no doubt that loyalty that Adam Sandler displays to his friends and colleagues is something that has reaped many, many dividends for him in contributing to his success. And finally, the last thing I jotted down here is that Adam Sandler is willing to go beyond his comfort zone. Okay, so he obviously started out as a comedian, and that's obviously his bread and butter. His movies in the very early going, obviously, were all comedians, and he was on Saturday Night Live. But more recently, actually, it started with Punch Drunk Love. where he experimented with a more serious type of role. And there's been other actors like this that have done this, such as Jim Carrey, for example. Okay, but the point of the video here is about Adam Sandler. And with Punch Drunk Love, he proved that he's got range in his acting abilities. He's not only just a comedian, he's able to take on more serious roles. Even if there's a comedic undertone underneath it all, he's able to take on serious roles, and not even only limited to comedic undertones. So I mentioned Uncut Gems. That was just such a nuanced performance. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I remember one scene in particular, watching it, and I literally gasped out loud. I was like, when I watched the scene, just because Adam Sandler was so real, he was just so raw and tapping into the emotions of the character he was playing. And in that particular scene, it really struck me of how far Adam Sandler has come. And I don't mean how far he's come in that he was not good in the beginning and now he is, but more like how far he's come in terms of the range that he's displaying, and that he's willing to take on more challenging and more serious roles. And he's continued that also into the movie Hustle, in terms of being a basketball scout, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have seen that film, where he's just fantastic in it as well. So the fact that Adam Sandler is willing to try new things, both as an actor, but also in producing and in the roles that he takes on, and in the movies that he gets involved with, just goes to show you the extent of his leaving his comfort zone and how important that can be in getting to success. If none of us are willing to leave our comfort zone, we always want to stay put or stay static to where we are, we're not really going to achieve all that we can achieve. Adam Sandler takes chances. He does what speaks to him. He does comedic roles. He does dramatic roles. He has a stand-up comedy special. He really does it all. And the fact that he's leaving his comfort zone frequently, and the fact that he's been so successful doing it, goes to show you that that definitely is another big factor in his success. Okay, so just to sum up the 5 points that I jotted down here, I'm sure there's many more, and I'd be curious to see your feedback. Feel free to leave that in the comments. I would love to see that. But the 5 main points that kind of struck me as I was thinking about Adam Sandler's success is that he stayed humble. He disregards the naysayers. He heaps credit on everybody else. He's loyal, and he's willing to try new things and leave his comfort zone. Okay, so let me know what you thought about that. What factors do you think contributes to Adam Sandler's success? What do you think about the list that I've given you? I hope you did find that insightful. I hope you're as much of a fan of Adam Sandler as I am. If you're not, I'd be curious to hear why not. But based on his success, I feel like there's a lot more fans than there are not fans. And I'm just super happy for his success. I think it couldn't have happened to a better guy. Thanks again, as always, for visiting, and I look forward to seeing you at the next video. Hey guys, this is your annoying reminder to please hit that subscribe button. You'll be helping me out, and you'll also get notified of the next cool video. And check out the other videos on my channel. There's some great stuff over there, all sorts of topics. Take care.